I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Tuesday, December the 24th, 2013. An IDF employee was killed this morning by Palestinian sniper fire. The man, identified as Salah Shukri Abu Latif, was a civilian employee of the IDF who was working on the border fence between Israel and Gaza when he was shot. He was airlifted to Soroka Medical Center in Beersheba, where he later died of his injuries. Latif was reportedly 22 years old and from the Bedouin city of Rahat in Israel's south. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the attack a very grave incident, an incident that Israel will not let go unanswered. Netanyahu said our policy up until now has been to prevent beforehand and to react with force, and this is how we will act now as well. Today's shooting follows another incident at the border fence. Last night, the IDF responded to a Palestinian who was attempting to plant explosives along the security fence. IDF forces shot at the man's legs, injuring him. And Israeli Air Force jets struck targets in Gaza in response to the shooting of Latif today. Reuters quoted witnesses saying that 2 Hamas training camps were hit. Ynet reports that one of the IAF strikes had reportedly hit an Izzadin el-Qassam Brigade's base west of Khan Yunis. Palestinian media reports that 2 Palestinians were killed in the airstrikes, though those reports have not been confirmed. The Times of Israel reports that the IDF also deployed additional forces to the Gaza border area today after the shooting and has asked Israeli farmers whose fields are near the border fence to avoid working in their fields for the immediate future. And Palestinian daily Al-Quds reported that Hamas ordered the evacuation of its security installments and bases in Gaza ahead of the expected Israeli retaliation. The Times of Israel also cited Israeli sources saying that Hamas have neglected its duties under agreements reached at the end of last year's Operation Pillar of Defense, making Hamas responsible for patrolling the Gazan side of the border and preventing attacks on Israel. The World Jewish Daily reports that Prime Minister Netanyahu may condition the release of convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard as part of any agreement with the Palestinians, although there was no sign yet from the American side that they would be open to such a condition. Israel's Channel 2 television station reported yesterday that the Prime Minister could make signing a framework deal with the Palestinians, a deal that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is expected to officially propose to both sides before the end of the year, conditional on Pollard's release. Again, there has been no sign from the U.S. side that their stance on Pollard has changed at all. As we reported to you yesterday, Netanyahu met with Jonathan Pollard's wife Esther for about 45 minutes yesterday, where he reaffirmed his determination to bring Jonathan home. Jonathan Pollard was arrested in 1985 for passing classified information to Israel. He began the 29th year of his life sentence last month.
That Israel's security.
And the Jerusalem Post reports that John Kerry's proposal presented to Israel and the Palestinians so far as part of ongoing peace talks accept most of Israel's positions. The Post cited an Army radio report today that said most of Israel's positions were accepted, including Israeli control of the future Palestinian state's border with Jordan. According to the Army radio report, the U.S. is prepared to give Israel full control of the Jordanian border, as well as the ability to collect intelligence in the West Bank. Jordan border patrols would initially be carried out by the IDF and later in cooperation with Palestinian and Jordanian security forces. Kerry also reportedly proposed that a large fence be built along the length of the Jordan Valley, similar to the current West Bank separation barrier, with the proposed Palestinian state between the two fences. Israel reportedly sees the proposal as a basis for negotiation, while the Palestinians have reportedly rejected it, saying that they would not allow any IDF soldiers in the territory of a future Palestinian state. Following Sunday's bus bomb in Bat Yam, the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv and consulate in Jerusalem have reportedly stepped up their precautions. They released an emergency message on their website barring all employees from using shared taxis or Sherut service. U.S. Embassy personnel and their families are already prohibited from using public buses in Israel, but after Sunday's bombing, which fortunately did not result in any injury, The embassy released a temporary prohibition on the shared taxi service as well. They said they were doing so as they assessed the security implications of the December 22nd attack. The bus attack, as we reported to you, occurred near Tel Aviv, and tragedy was averted when a passenger noticed a suspicious package on board, alerted the driver, who safely evacuated all 12 passengers on the bus. The bus blew up moments later. The embassy announcement today also renewed the U.S. government's long-standing advice to U.S. citizens in Israel to exercise caution and take appropriate measures to ensure their safety and security. U.S. citizens should pay close attention, they said, to their surroundings and news reports and follow the civil defense guidance provided by the Homefront Command. The Jewish Week reports that the Helmsley Charitable Trust has announced more than $21 million in grants to 4 Israeli institutions. These grants are part of a continuing effort to invest in Israel's leading institutions and critical initiatives toward the goal of strengthening Israel as a successful and secure nation. A 3-year, $8 million grant will go to American Friends of Magen David Adom for the construction of a new national blood center in Israel. A 2-year, $5 million grant will go to the Barzilai Medical Center in Israel's south for the construction and fortification of operating rooms and medical facilities that are able to continue working even under attack and under natural disasters. And 2 3-year grants of $7 million for an academic research center, part of University of Haifa, and a 3-year, $1.6 million grant will support the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces Impact Scholarship Program. Helmsley trustee Sandor Frankel said these grants illustrate our basic philanthropic approach toward Israel. They will strengthen Israel's scientific, technological, and medical research, which will benefit not only Israel but the rest of the world as well. And turning to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Tuesday, December the 24th. Coming up on L'chaim at 9, Mark Golub is joined by controversial founder and president of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein. That's here tonight on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Tuesday, December the 24th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader. I will be back on Thursday. And to all our viewers who celebrate Christmas, we wish all of you a most wonderful and Merry Christmas.